Right, right. Welcome, Bridget. I think we'll go ahead and start. It's 1 minute after 3, and out of respect for your time, we want to get the show on the road. Welcome, Reese, if I haven't said welcome yet. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We've got a couple slides to walk you through today. It's always helpful to get a visual while you're listening into. Um, and today, our goals are just basically we want to welcome you to the Blue Sky Supplemental Program. We want to introduce ourselves and then introduce our staff to you that you will have contact with. We also want to take you inside Moodle, which is the learning management system, fancy way of saying the classroom where you will be taking your online classes. And we'll talk about some tips for success. We've been doing this for a while with students like you, and we have some ideas to share with you to get you thinking about how to approach this school year and this learning arrangement. And then we'll also offer some ways that we can support you and that steps we'll be taking to support you. So that's what this time will look like. This is very informal. Feel free to unmute yourself if you'd like to ask a question as we go through this information, or feel free to write a question in the chat. We will leave time at the end for any questions that you have, and we'll hang out until all questions are answered. So on that note, Jeanette, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. I am Jeanette, and I get to assist not only Heidi, but all of our supplemental students. I have always worked in the field of education, from working with little toddlers and preschoolers up to being an educational assistant at a charter school and working in a health office. It has been since 2021 since I have been here, getting to, like I said, work with our supplemental students, support all of you and your families and your schools, and welcome to all of you new and returning students. Thanks for being here. And Heidi.
Thanks, Jeanette. And I'm Heidi, and I have been with Blue Sky for almost 2 decades now, which is insane to think. I started out as a high school English teacher and then transitioned in 2016 to this role when the state approved this learning arrangement. And so it's been a great ride, and love working at Blue Sky. I love the staff. I love kind of our mission statement in terms of like supporting students. We're a very student-centered school, so there's so much about Blue Sky that I truly believe in as in my values. And then also I just wanted to mention at the bottom, you can reach Jeanette or me through our email addresses. You probably already have received an email from one of us, but we will both be emailing you throughout the year. You can also reach us simultaneously through that supplemental at blueskyschool.org email. If you're not quite sure who to send the question to, that will send the question to both of us. And a little bit more about how we'll be supporting you. We will just be keeping an eye on you and cheering you along throughout the year. We will be sending progress updates to you with a screenshot of your what we call course tiles that shows how you're doing, and we will send that to you, to your parent or guardian, and then to your school counselor. So we're kind of here to keep everyone on the same page in terms of your progress. And in general, we'll serve as a liaison between our school and your school, right? So we're kind of helping connect the dots. So like at the end of this semester, we'll make sure that all transcript, your grades, the credit you earned if you're a high school student, all that information gets sent to your school so that they can add that into your transcript at your school. And then we're also here to provide any intervention if necessary. You may not need anything from us, but maybe you're running into some struggles or challenges and you need a little additional support. We're here to provide that for you. You're not here like out there floating on your own, doing these classes completely without anybody checking in to make sure you're okay. The rest of your team includes all of our teachers, and you might just be taking one class with us. You might be taking 2, 3, or 4. But we have, I have to share that I had a student ask me once, he said, is like a robot or AI grading my work? And I said, oh my goodness, no, we have live full-time Minnesota licensed teachers who have actually our staff. Our staff has been around for forever because people really like working at Blue Sky, like I was just saying earlier. So we've got very experienced online teachers, some teachers who've been with us again for 2 decades or almost 2 decades. Blue Sky is the first online program in the state of Minnesota, and we're just celebrating our 25th anniversary. So we've got a lot of experience in the staff that you're seeing on the screen. And these teachers, this is what they do for their full-time job. They're not working in a brick and mortar building during the day and coming home to grade at night. This is what they do for their full-time teaching job. So that means that they are there to support you when you need it throughout the school day, and they're super responsive. So never hesitate to reach out to them when you have questions. And that's going to be a reoccurring theme throughout this conversation. We also have a great IT team. So being an online student, I mean, it's got so many perks. Sometimes technology doesn't always cooperate, does it? So if you ever run into any tech issues, you can just email support@blueskyschool.org. Let them know who you are. Give them your first and last name. Mention that you're a supplemental student because that might have something to do with the obstacle you're facing. Give them your phone number and maybe a good time to reach you. We don't want to be bugging you if you're in the building doing your regular school courses. And then also give as much detail as you can about the tech issue that you're experiencing. You can grab a screenshot of it. The more information you give them, the faster they can help you out. So bottom line, we're all here to help you. Jeanette and I, as your kind of first go-to people, your teachers, IT, text us, call us, chat us. There's a chat feature in the learning management system that you can use. Email us. We can meet in Zoom like this. You'll just need to kind of find a way to communicate that's comfortable for you. And we're happy to respond in the way that works best. Okay, we'll run through some Blue Sky expectations, the kind of things that we expect of you as you learn from us. You want to make sure that you're using Google Chrome as your web browser. We use Google Docs, Google Forms, Google Surveys. So that's something that you will want to make sure you're using. And then also having a functioning laptop is ideal with potentially with a headset and a microphone, especially if you're taking a language class with us, like a Spanish class or an ASL class. And I should point out that tablets and smartphones might work a little bit, but they are not ideal because not all of the assignments are compatible with those devices. So that's where it's really important that you do have a functioning laptop that you can use to do your schoolwork. It's just an easier, better experience too. So we expect weekly progress. We don't take attendance because technically you are not our student. You belong to the school that you head to during the day. But we do care about you and want to see progress. So we expect that you are getting into your online class or classes and making progress every week. And we call that engagement. So we look on Monday morning to see the week before who has not engaged. And if we notice you haven't engaged, that's a red flag for us. And we reach out to you, we reach out to your parent or guardian, we reach out to your school counselor and say, hey, we didn't hear from you last week. Are you okay? How can we help you? And if it keeps happening, we have some steps that we put in place to kind of stop that from happening. But just so you know, that's what that word means. Engagements means you're making progress. So we will be communicating with you, as I mentioned before. We will be emailing progress updates typically every other week. We might increase that if you are behind or you're just not making progress. You might hear more from us. Your teachers will also be emailing you. So we ask that you get in the habit of checking your Blue Sky email account and reading those communications and responding back to us. If we ask you a question, we'd love to hear and know that you're out there And we also will be sending quarterly newsletters with just kind of some important information for you to be aware of. So we just ask that you stay up on your email and read it and respond if appropriate. And we ask also that you, again, to the theme of like reaching out to us, reach out if you get stuck, if you feel frustrated. So as an online student, you can imagine in the classroom, if you have a question, you raise your hand and the teacher can come over and help you out. But as an online learner, we don't have the luxury of seeing your faces every day. And so we don't know if you're frustrated. We don't know if you're ready to fling the pencil across the room or whatever. So that's where it is an added responsibility on you to say, hey, I'm stuck, so that we know you need help and we can jump in and help you, but you have to take the first step. Okay, any questions so far? I'll pause just for a second. Feel free to unmute or to type in the chat. All right, we'll take a look inside Moodle, which is where you'll be taking your class. And you might be wondering, how do I know what to do like every week? How do I know what assignments I work on, how many to complete? And that's what this is going to help you with. We call this our academic snapshot. And what you see here are these little squares are called course tiles. And I'll talk about them in a second. But what you'll see when you log in, this first little square here is an academic overview. And that just combines, if you're taking more than one class with us, it adds up all the number of assignments for you to complete that week. So it just kind of consolidates everything for you. So if you're a big planner, which we hope you are, that's going to really help you find success. You can see like, oh, I have 124 assignments. Hopefully you'll never have that many assignments. But then you can say, okay, I'm going to divide this up. I'm going to do this many on Monday. I'm going to do this many on Tuesday. It can help you kind of plan your time. You'll also have support contacts. You'll have my phone number and email here as a way to reach me. And then, oops, sorry about that. These course tiles are going to be your roadmap for each class you're taking. So this student is taking 3 classes. You can see underwater basket weaving, new supplemental student orientation, and biology. So let's take a closer look into what a course tile means, because there's a lot going on in one of these little tiles. The first thing to point out is this arrow is kind of covering it up, but to do this week. This is going to be your guide for how many assignments you want to aim to complete by the end of the week, which is for us on Saturday night at 11:59 p.m. Do you need to be working on Saturday? No. But if you've had a crazy week and you didn't meet that number, we encourage you to work on Saturday to keep yourself up to date. And 22, it maybe seems like a lot. If you're taking, I would say if you're taking 5 classes with us, that would be an average number. If you're taking 1 class with us, you'd see maybe 3 to 4 a week. And then you can double that for 2 classes, triple that for 3, just to give you an idea. So, question. What happens if you don't match your to-do number this week? So let's say you made it through Saturday night, it's Sunday morning, you didn't get all 22 assignments done. Let's say you only got 12 done. So you missed 10 assignments. What happens? What does that mean? The first thing is you will not be penalized for late work. Your teacher will not deduct points for late work. However, what you don't complete from the week prior will get added onto the number for the next week. So that 10 that you didn't do is going to be added on to the 20, probably be like 22 for the next week. So next week you'd have 32 assignments to complete. So you can see how if you don't meet that number in your circle by the end of the week, the assignments can start to build. And when that happens, that can start to feel overwhelming. And for some students, that can be feel paralyzing, right? Because it seems too big. And so our biggest piece of advice is to just get that number done by the end of the week, right? Try to match that number. And that what will happen is a 1 will pop up here once you submit, and then a 2. So by the end, you want to see 22 out of 22. The middle percentage. This is your course grade. Blue Sky does things very differently than a typical school. You're going to start at 0%. Your grade will be 0%. Everything in the grade book for the whole semester has been zeroed out. Okay. So 0% is your grade. And then you'll submit something and then you'll see 2%. And then you'll submit another assignment and you'll see 4%. That's all great, but it really doesn't give you an idea of like, how in the world are you doing in this class? And so we have a couple of other indicators on this course tile to help you understand how you're doing on the assignments you've submitted so far. And that's what this quality of work is, right? This grade lets this student know that they have been from what they've submitted so far, they have averaged an A- grade. Their grade in the course is 18%, so they have work to do. But in general, they've done really great work on what they've submitted. Okay, so that's one indicator. Excuse me. Another indicator is this "you are here" progress bar. You can see that this student is on the struggle bus, right? Like underwater basket weaving has not been a highlight for him or her because they haven't done much. And so they're really, really behind. So if you are in the red, then you have work to do to catch up.
And ideally, it's going to be matching blue to blue, or for some classes, it might be green to blue. But you just want to kind of make sure that your progress is sticking right along with that progress line underneath.
Any questions about that? Sorry, as I have a cough attack.
And just to reiterate that 0 out of 26, that is not what you're going to be seeing unless you have not done work for a couple months. This is just an example.
Okay, thank you, Jeanette. Sorry, guys, I'm like fighting a cold this week. All right, some tips to help you be successful. Like we were saying earlier, Jeanette, I have done this for a few years, and so we have learned things from working with students, steps that you can take to set you off on the right foot. And the first is to really be intentional, to make a plan at the beginning of each week for how you're going to, when and where you're going to do your online classes. We are not looking to make sure like, oh, Mason didn't log in on Monday. Oh, what's going on? Or Kiara didn't log in on Wednesday, or Neil didn't do anything from Wednesday to Friday. What we're looking for is that you made progress from the week prior. You can log in on a Sunday, which is when our system updates, and complete all of your assignments for the week and be done and not have to log in Monday through Friday. And because we're just looking like, did this student do work last week? And if you've made progress, awesome. If not, that's when we're reaching out to you and to your family and to your counselor. So being intentional and making a plan is huge in helping you do really, really well in these courses. And starting strong at the beginning of each week, we found has really helped students. It does something to your motivation, right? Versus like, oh, I'll do it later. And because your weeks get busy, you guys are busy and you've got a lot going on with school, with your extracurricular, with some of you have jobs and social lives, right? So if you keep putting it off to the end of the week, it's just going to get easier to put off. So starting on Sunday, if the Vikings aren't playing well, or if you've got nothing going on, do your work, get it done, get some of it done. And then it makes it easier to keep going. Reach out to your teachers when you get stuck, right? So they can help you. Again, we don't want you at home feeling frustrated. And while you're waiting to hear back from them, move on. Maybe skip that assignment. And unless it's math, I know math is hard to move on from because the content builds upon itself, but go to the next assignment, go to a different class. Don't just give up for the day and say, well, I have to wait to hear from a teacher. Keep making progress. You are all taking a class that's replacing a class you would take in the school building. So what are you doing with that hour or that block where you would be in a classroom? use that time to work in your online course. That's be so easy just to use that time that's already been cut out for you, where you would already otherwise be in a classroom. Get your online work done then if you can. And then you don't have to worry about it in the evenings or on the weekends. And then also, obviously, take your time and submit your best work. It can be easy if you've been in the building for most of the day and you're tired and you just don't want to deal with the online stuff. But we can't recommend enough taking your time to do your best work to get that quality of work grade high. The higher that quality of work grade, the faster your course grade percentage is going to go up. And obviously, the more you're going to learn, which is the ultimate goal here, right? Okay. And then if you've had a busy week and you've had a ton of games or tournaments or work and you weren't able to get everything done, you weren't able to complete that circle, plan to work on Saturday so you can catch up, so you don't have to start the week behind. Or maybe it's Sunday and you've got a crazy week ahead. Work on Sunday if you can to get the jump start on and to prevent, falling behind and the stress that can build too. We've got some student tips from the mouths of your peers, things that have worked for them. So this student stated, do whatever you can to make the work fun for yourself and not procrastinate. Taking breaks can help you be more efficient, which I think is a really great advice. Planning your study schedule strategically so you can work ahead if it's possible. You can work ahead. If you're not in a group-paced class, and we can answer questions about that at the end, you have access to the entire semester's worth of content starting on Tuesday. And some students find that really motivating because they like to work ahead. You could finish your course early. I mean, you have all the content and you have a teacher there who will keep up with you in grading your work. So feel free to do that. Here's another student tip. So giving yourself time, making a plan will make the whole learning experience so much more smooth and less stressful. So I think that's good advice. And another student, the importance of being intentional, having a plan. Breaks comes up again. You're going to notice that our teachers are very flexible and want you to succeed. And the learning process is important. So you won't be penalized if you don't do well on an assignment. If you want to go back and give it another try, you'll be most likely able to do that. You might have to reach out to a teacher first to have a quick conversation, and he or she will then reset the assignment so you can go back in and redo it. Otherwise, the assignments might already allow for you to go and do it. That's where connecting with that teacher becomes really important. So, but know that the big goal here is that we want to see you succeed and we want you to learn and get as much as you can out of these classes and to find success.
And I would just kind of echo what Heidi was mentioning too about reaching out. If you need to reach out to your teacher because you might want to ask if you can redo an assignment or rework something, don't wait till the end of the semester. Our teachers, they're not only teaching our supplemental students, but we also have a full-time school, and they have live sessions with those full-time students. At the end of a semester, they're pretty darn busy grading all of their students' assignments. So just make sure if you already see one, and I think Heidi will mention it later too about your grade book. If you see something, a grade that you would like to try and improve on, reach out to that teacher right away. Just don't wait to the end.
Thank you for mentioning that, Jeanette. That's huge. And that kind of goes along with, staying on top of things and not procrastinating, because we have an algebra student or pre-calculus student who in January needs help. It gets really hard, right? The teacher will do their best to provide that help, but then catching up on the rest of the assignments in such a short amount of time becomes a really crummy and stressful learning experience for you. And we don't want that for you. So, yeah, doing the work as consistently as you possible, asking those questions as you go. And Jeanette brought up the grade book. You will have access to your grade book. So, going in after you submitted assignments, seeing the feedback that your teacher leaves for you, seeing what you got right, maybe what you got wrong, but having that become a part of your learning experience is very powerful too. Great. Okay, so how do you know when you're ready for Tuesday, which is our first day of school? If you are new with us this year, you want to have completed the online orientation. It's pretty brief. It should take you no more than 30 to 35 minutes. Okay, so complete that. Number two, you will have received an email with a link to a welcome or welcome back if you're returning form / things to know that will ask questions of you to help us get to know you better so we can support you better. And it will also provide some review on just how we do things at Blue Sky. Because sometimes we are in January and we get questions about the course grade and the quality of grade. And we're like, oh my gosh, no, we covered this in orientation. There's confusion. And you've been doing this for 5 or 6 months. So it's important. We're trying to help you review that and kind of get that drilled in so you have a full understanding to give you all you need to be successful. Make a plan for what next week looks like. You may be hard to know because you don't know how many assignments you're going to complete yet. But again, let's say you have one class, you'll average 3 to 4 assignments a week. So you can kind of do the math and then figure out where and when you're going to do those assignments. And then if you've got those 3 things covered, just feel confident because you're ready and you're going to do great. And when you have questions, you know how to reach us. And we just encourage you to do that.
Oh, sorry, I want to go back to the course tile, Heidi. If you could possibly go back and show them one of the ways that they can reach out to their teacher.
Oh my goodness, yes, I missed that. Yes.
Yeah, because that's super simple and there's multiple ways to do that. And then we also want to stress to get ready for Tuesday, prepare to be checking your Blue Sky Gmail account because that's the one we're going to be emailing. Your teachers will be emailing. Check that a few times a week. There we go. Thank you, Heidi.
Yeah. So you can reach, let's say you're taking biology with David Bjorklund. You can reach him by clicking on his icon right up at the upper right corner of the course tile. I also don't think I mentioned, clicking on this link will bring you into the classroom. These are going to be, it's a slideshow, so they're not live here, but clicking on this will take you into the biology classroom. Clicking on this number here will bring you to a list of those 22 assignments from which you can then click on the assignment and start working. Clicking onto this 18% grade or this A- quality will bring you right into your grade book. So then you'll get to see all of the assignments you've completed so far and the rest that you have to complete, how you did, and any comments left from your teachers. You can also click into the assignment itself, the graded assignment, and see any feedback left for you from that assignment. Sorry, that's really important information that I skipped over. So thank you, Jeanette, for bringing us back to this. Great. And that's pretty much all we had to share. We'll just leave time for questions. I just did want to emphasize too, like you guys are learning not only the coursework that you will be taking, like your English or your world history or your ASL, but you're going to be learning some really valuable skills in terms of time management, in terms of discipline and perseverance, in terms of communication, getting comfortable reaching out to people that maybe doesn't feel so comfortable. So these are skills that are really going to serve you well in life well beyond high school. I know a lot of adults who could improve in some of these areas, including myself. So yeah, it's great practice. I mean, not just in what you're learning, but in all these other skills. And so you're putting yourself, you know, a leg up, giving yourself a leg up by this learning experience. Because it's not, to be honest, you're going to be balancing two different programs, right? And that's not always easy. So it's going to take really thinking through how you're going to manage this, manage your time, and to find success. But we're here to support you and to cheer you on along the way.